just take my time. I'm always in such a rush. They hate when I speak my mind. Maybe I said too much, but she knows how hard it gets. Living in this life of lust, you never really know what's next, but it never seems to be enough. I hear them hating, but I don't even need them. I started in the basement, I make this shit look easy. She started getting naked, we hardly ever speak, and just get to going crazy. She don't wanna play these games with me. So now she got a taste of it. She wanna ride this wave with me. You remember I was wasted, girl. You can't put the blame on me. Losing our minds. Do this every night. Can you just unwind with me? Just lay with me. Just take my time. Always in such a rush. Hey, when I speak my mind. Maybe I said too much. She knows how hard it gets. Living in this life of lust. You never really know what's next, but it never seems to be enough. Just lay with me. Just take my time. Always in such a rush. Hey, when I speak my mind. Maybe I said too much. She knows how hard it gets. Living in this life of lust. You never really know what's next, but it never seems to be enough.
You're gonna love me, yeah, you better love me. You're gonna love me, yeah, you better. Fuck me, don't fight me, yeah, fuck me, don't fight me. You're gonna love me. You said you would never leave me. Can't see your colors bleeding. Yeah, you better love me. Yeah, you better love me. You're gonna love me, yeah, you better love me. You're gonna love me, yeah, you better. Fuck me, don't fight me, yeah, fuck me, don't fight me. You're gonna love me. You said you would never leave me. You're gonna love me, yeah, you better love me. Can't see your colors bleeding. Fuck me, don't fight me. You're gonna love me. Yeah, you better love me. Yeah, you better.
The intro music was quiet. I'm sorry. I wasn't necessarily paying attention to that. In fact, I wasn't even over here. Um. New FNAF game come out? You're not the middle never forgets. Alright, Dippy. Alright, bro. Chill out. Okay. 2 hours of Limbuzz. Is that what we're doing today? You guys sure you don't want, like... You sure you don't want 2 hours of Friday Lights? Like 5 Nights at Freddy's or something? We can do that. We can do that all day. I'm just playing around. Let's go ahead and jump into it. It's been a long 7 years. They released a Donda 2. Okay. Alright. Feels like some tweaker shit if you ask me. Hop right into this. Can I open up my stuff on YouTube? Let's go ahead and throw those likes out, chat. Thank you so much. Live stream comp? The hell happened? No, I haven't seen the new trailer for anything. Additional issue? Certain enemy in stage 448. Stage clear animation in stage 536. Okay. Yeah, our corp 4th pack Rabbit Heathcliff seems to be fucking up a lot of things. Let's see, who do we get so far? Back in these streets, chat. Oh, what is this? It's a wall class. Ryoshu. It's a bleed. It's alright. I mean, it's okay. Save till next Wednesday? I will. 4 to 6 a.m., bro. Chill out. Mao Faust level IDs. Oh, W. Alright, let's take a look at some of these. Trailers, right? Take a look at some of these trailers. Yeah. Okay. Library of Arena theme, Reverberation Ensemble second encounter in the Black Silence PV. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Alright, let's take a look.
Limbuzz 컴퍼니. 명령은 경청하고 있어요. 그저 감히 상급자와 눈이 맞지 않도록 시선을 아래로 둘 뿐. 밤에는 다른 조직에 대해 공부하곤 해요. 새로운 회사나 단체에 대해 연구하고 그들의 계획을
Okay.
대략적이나마 측정하려 노력하죠. 그래야만 예의를 다하지 못하는 일을 줄일 수 있으니까요. 하나 보급해드리겠습니다. 함부로 입을 놀리면
A
실수를
good way to display what matters even by accident.
폭격한 하고
제목 없이 세계의 가치와 마법,
See if these fume cigars.
전탄을 소모해서 참격을 가할 때
It's really she was
가
like,
모두를 날려버린다는 생각도 들지. 간, 시가 한다스보다 가치로운 상대를 만날 때도 있으니 아끼는 것이
okay.
더 가치와
I fuck with the animations.
사냥감인가 몸이 끓어오르는
Oh, very nice.
이 천투성도의 이름을 감추어야 한다는
Starblade must remain hidden is a shame indeed.
날개 돋은 듯한 호랑이의 부여 소리를 내비칠 수 있으니 이 정도로 만족하지.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty heat. Oh yeah, there's that 6 coin. Oh yeah.
나를 되뜨게
5.
많지
And you're 6 right here. Boom.
그 귀중한 경우의 수액도
Oh yeah. That's hot.
잘 놀다가 회수하지 않는 팁.
Nice. Did we get a kit for him yet? Dante just told him to lock in. That's funny. There's one where he hit reload, then hit staggered him. He reloaded and unstaggered himself. Kit probably drops Monday. Attack rate 3, 6 coin on break. I don't know if it's on break. I don't know about all that. Alright. But that is pretty cool. I like the animations for sure. I didn't really fuck with Sinclair's too much, but then again, we rarely ever get Sinclair. Like, peak Sinclairs. It is? Where did we get the confirmed unbreakable? Oh, it's 5 coin. But I saw 6 hits. I counted 6. Oh, he lost the clash and still did it? Oh, I see. Oh, fuck, I gotta turn on the volume again. Mouse Faust counter hit 3 times, but only has 2 coins. That's true. That is true. Warp time. Another 15 intervallo. Anguish. I wince in anguish. Alright, how'd this happen? First, we boarded the warp train to get to our next destination, P-Corp. Got into our fancy first-class flash freeze hibernation capsules, and we were supposed to arrive at P-Corp after the click blink of an eye, but response, there's. First thing I saw when my vision returned was a perplexed look on Faust, who had entered hibernation at the same time as I did. Then I realized we woke up mid-transit on the warp train, which could only mean we're stranded in some lost, unknown dimension. To rewind and return to the very start of this highly unfavorable situation we found ourselves in a few days ago. That's where it started. Everybody hates a warp train. Everybody knows. We all fucking hate it. Warp train to get to P-Corp. Through the vague information that we could gather from the identities, we all had some fragmentary knowledge and the terrible secrets of warp chain operations. I initially considered hiding this information from the rest of the sinners, but since sharing things with everyone and letting them get their own 2 cents usually ended up being pretty helpful, I've been more sharing as of late. Yeah, warp trains suck. Yep. Sounds like I might finally have a chance to see a masterpiece with my own eyes. Alright, Ryoshi, chill out, bro. Faust explained that due to the risks associated with embracing such influences, there is a filtering process to intentionally block them from reaching the sinners. That's why sinners could use the identities of some of our worst enemies without getting infected by their philosophies and whatnot. But it also meant that they couldn't retain any new information that each identity had to offer. That's why I keep a record of some things that sound particularly important and sometimes share with the rest of the sinners. So much our communications are one-sided, but I had abundant of W Corp identities, so it wasn't difficult to piece together the truth behind the trains. But maybe ignorance is bliss. On saying possibly incompliance have already been accounted for. Faust has known all along, and no knowledge is out of Faust's reach. As expected, a solution to your dilemma has already been prepared. Mephi when Kieran's gone. Miss Faust. The rearmost cars are all freight cars. That's where Mephistopheles will be safely fastened and transported, and the LCB will have the benefit of boarding as first class passengers. The bus begins to swell with noise again, though in a slightly different matter. Assad's proudest accomplishment in life is planting their ass in first class seats, while others are cramming themselves into freight cars because they haven't had the cash for even an economy ticket. Isn't the ticket for a single first class like expensive as 3 to 4 months' salary of first year wing employee? Can our budget really handle getting a ticket for all of us? Concern. I've heard first class passengers get some cool bonus stuff like personalized private capsules. That is promotional language, yes. They are flash freeze hibernation capsules to be precise. They have been designed to easily withstand the true amount of time it takes for the warp train to travel from point A to point B. The trip will be over in a blink of an eye for the passengers. The company's regard for our well-being is unfamiliar yet welcome. To be provided such an extravagance merely for our comfort, such occurrence is quite seldom. 10 seconds for a capsule for $10 billion. I thought they were just going to slip just the guide and carry in first class seats and the rest of us in economy cars. That seems like an unnecessary luxury. They should have just saved their budget and given only the executive manager and their loyal advisor access to the seats. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're taking the warp train to our next mission. We have to think about the unique nature of warp trains and prepare ourselves accordingly. I know it's first class, but the warp trains are just plain creepy. I knew you'd also be worried about. For example, economy passengers are going to have a hard time getting into a first class car. If they can't even attempt open it, I mean, I'm sure the door spacing is ironclad. Ishmael, who'd been holding the first class promotional pamphlet in her hand for a while, was chattering on with fire in her eyes. We won't even have to lift a finger. We just have to board the train, get into our capsule, shut our eyes, and snooze through the entire ride until all of that mess in the other cars blows over. I heard they used to give out commemorative merch back when the finances were in the gutter, and a true adventure is not without hardships. Yet, even the most exalted of heroes cannot venture without respite. And, in very rare occasions, the hero may even deign to select a first-class seat to rest in place of a quaint inn. Indeed, indeed. Seems like everyone was at least interested in the fabled first-class seats. I could sense there was a growing consensus among the sinners that even a warp train trip might be acceptable if they could ride in first-class seats. I will board the train if I must. Is first-class seating mandatory? I prefer the scenic route, don't want to miss out on all the fun. Virgilius pretended not to hear Ryoshu's question. Very well, then I will assume we're all in agreement. Let's go. I've been a matter of great importance to discuss with thee. What is it? Out with it last. Beating around the bush ain't like you. Don Quixote began, almost whispering in a low voice. I've heard tell that we must board with our feet freed from our boots. Doth that claim hold water? She wouldn't even go and see. No, she probably wouldn't. Come now, what kind of nonsense gossip is this coming from this time? 'Tis no gossip forsooth. I have overheard aught from those who have walked past her today, and when one of them inquired, you know you gotta go barefoot into first class, right? They responded with, of course, man, what am I, stupid? You're seeing anything like that on the pamphlet? Give me a second. Must be separated from Rosciante, not even for a twinkle. I shan't toss Rosciante to the side, next to such vulgarites like the ugly shoes of Sir Heathcliff. That's fucked up, low-key. I implore thee, O illustrious red gaze, prithee grant me thy permission and allow me to board with Rosciante. I expected Virgilius to answer with his usual exaggerated rebuff. Contrary to my expressions, however, he responded in a somewhat serious tone, if tainted by that familiar annoyance. Fine, keep your shoes on. Unnecessary studio behavior, Project Moon. Come on now. Come on now. Save the beats for later. Alright, bro. That was my first impression of the warp train station. Don Quixote shouted vibrantly, immediately recovering from her previous apprehension of the sheer possibility that she might be separated from Rosciante. I've got nothing. Oi, know anything about what they're asking? Heathcliff asked, gesturing toward Morsall with his chin. Every warp train station has been built with the general design philosophy that draws from their respective nests' architectural idiosyncrasies. It can be said that many critics in relevant fields praise the warp train station as one of the many cultural cornerstones of the city. I have no idea when it happened, but Heathcliff started treating Morsall like a walking encyclopedia from time to time. Morsall, young Morsall, lo, is that the passenger over yonder, one from the west? Incorrect. Leather-based clothing and metal armor are predominant fashion trends often visible in the outfits of the Western population, while that individual's cloth-based style is something ubiquitously observed throughout the population of North and South. They are largely considered to be an Eastern fashion trend, rarely seen among Western. Prithee, slow thyself, for I must make a record of thy lectures. What wisdom dost thou have to impart regarding the fashion of northern region? Jesus Christ, I'm gonna fucking... I have once spied... Bro, if they don't stop using fucking retarded ass words. I have once espied in a magazine that they are garbed in puffy, loose-fitting outfits. Understandably so, given the colder climate of the region. An opportunity for a first-hand observation stands before you. Whoop! 3 seconds of screaming duet, one of the utter fascination, the other of unmitigated frustration. What the shit? You nearly blew out my eardrums. You're the one to talk. Dude, I've got an audible frequency range expansion implant in my eardrums. Holy shit, man. Now, get the hell out of my way. You're blocking the walkway like a ragtag band of hicks who's never even seen a warp train before. Bro will not be freed from Old English. Damn it, I take the train all the way here for an expedition, only to lose my target, and now these assholes are trying to blow out my eardrums. Great, just great, I love this. And the round ticket fees came straight out of my damn pocket. Whoa, watch out, big fella. Someone might seriously get hurt if you keep swinging those 4 arms around, each holding a weapon to boot. Prithee, wilt thou stand still for but a moment to satisfy a few inquiries of mine regarding thy outfit? Oh, yes, yes. Stand in absolute stillness for 5 minutes, and I seriously... Fixer, with a particularly impressive set of prosthetic arms, spent a few minutes venting several of his numerous grievances at us before storming off to a different platform. Ah, indeed, 'tis grand, this city of sundry old personalities. Pretty sure he was thinking the same thing. I guess there really are a lot of people in the city with full-body prosthetics. That's when Virgilius slowly walked up to our group. Would the illustrious gaze not ride alongside us? W Court policy demands that Fixer bestowed with colored title must board a train specially prepared for them instead. Oh, are you like riding the first class plus or something? That's a color fixer for you, I guess. Special treatment from the wings, no matter where he goes. Karen wants to go back to Mephi. Mephi'll be lonely. I've told you before, Karen. 3 separate times, actually. each time I buy you one of those candies, that people aren't allowed to board the freight cars. Then, Miss Faust. Yes. Virgilius, after exchanging a knowing look and a nod with Faust, escorted the particularly peeved Karen away. Dante, let us proceed this way. We followed Faust's guidance to the entrance of our train car. Damn. Whoa, our colors are starting to come back. Hey, these must be the fabled complimentary food and drink of the first class seats. Heck yeah, of course, quality stuff like this has to be included with that insane pricing. General response to this room was a surprise of the rows upon rows of expensive-looking sizable capsules. Flash freeze hibernation, huh? I guess it literally freezes our bodies in a flash. Please elaborate on your exact definition of safe. Flash freeze hibernation will put you in a temporary state of death caused by rapid cellular cryopreservation process. However, the rapidity of the process prevents your damage to your cells during the phase change. Therefore, in most normal cases, there will not be any issues. Faust is aware that this model has resolved cell membrane breaching issues caused by cryogenic density change or by ice crystal growth of water molecules. Yes, as far as Faust is aware, even if an issue were to arise during the journey, because everyone will be reverted to their states at the beginning of the train trip upon arrival, there won't be any lasting complications from the said problem. Indeed, Faust talents are not limited to a singular field. Okay, but that still leaves a lot to be worried about. Love Town. Okay, but that still leaves a lot to be worried about, just as I was wondering. However, I realized that there is something odd about the way she phrased that answer. As a general rule, Faust is not air. However, Faust is also not a divine being. There are certain information in the world that Faust has yet to have access to. Therefore, while Faust may speak the facts, what is said may not always align with the truth. P-Corp's way up there in northernmost corner of the city, but this thing will take us there in the blink of an eye. That's one hell of a time saver. I'm meaning to ask Don Quixote, do you ever, wash those shoes? Think back to when we were inside that whale. We were gross. Yeah. Do you remember how much we had to scrub to get the bloody fish gunk out of our clothes? Donkey never took her shoes off once during that whole ordeal. I asked thee, dear compatriots, hast thou ever witnessed an errant knight who leaves the side of their beloved steed? Witnessed a night before, though. Then thou shalt know, starting now, beholden, hearken, and remember it well. Have you been on one of these, Otis? I have been treated to premium VIP seats of similar grandiosity back then. This is nothing to fuss over. Otis, who was sitting there and shaking her legs, suddenly asked Faust a question. Accidents ever occurred on one of these first-class cars? Yes. In order to prevent cases of unnecessary anxiety and misgivings among the sinners, the history of the accidents that has occurred will not be shared. Wait, what the? Okay, I think we're leaving soon. Those who were leisurely enjoying suddenly became a lot busier. Getting to the castle is no problem, but I felt I was the only one who was fumbling. Just you. Guided me into a capsule like she'd done something like this before. Then pressed the button to close the hatch. And again in but a moment, Dante. Thought I heard a brief sigh, but the hatch shut tightly before I could ask her anything. The last thing I saw before my capsule began to fill with gas was Faust climbing into her own capsule opposite of mine. Almost missed it. W. Yeah, I saw her have her hands straight up. She really meant by we will meet again in but a moment. You must wake up, Dante. One thing I knew for sure was a conceivable situation has occurred. That something had seriously gone wrong. Dante. We're fucked, Dante. Dante, get up. Dante, the Switch 2. It's sold out, Dante. Well, I guess it wasn't an exaggeration at all. All really happened in the blink of an eye. No, we are not yet at our destination. Did you enjoy it? Time killing time? The boss fight was alright. It was kind of enjoyable. Hasn't released yet because it sucks. Yo. I realized that her expression was more antsy than usual by a microscopically minuscule degree. Is the train still rushing? Yes. Shed in an unidentified dimension. Coordinates are unknown. I took a reflexive, deep breath from the sheer horror of the numerous implications stuffed into that dryly delivered sentence. When that passed, the first thing that struck my head was we were about to suffer the very thing we were so worried about. I see. But I found myself calming down. She probably saw this coming from a mile away. I'm sure she's about to proudly tell me every detail of her plan. That was an unusually long silence from Faust. With that, Faust left me to flounder in the chaotic stream of vaguely terrifying information as she began stopping by each capsule to wake the sinners. There's a brief cheer, a little hurrah. Perhaps an elaboration of our present circumstances is necessary. And that brings us to the present. Train's still running. We're drifting through an unknown dimension. Striketh me as quite dramatic, yes. The hell is wrong with you? Sinners began to voice their anger. Of course, this wasn't the first time Faust and Virgilius intentionally and knowingly omitted certain details. We can just retreat or jump out of the door when stuff hits the fan. Result in almost immediate destruction of the physical body. But hey, Faust, you at least know what to do like always. You got a plan, right? Faust, whom I had rarely ever seen at last words, wasn't usually so to respond. She made a sideways glance. There must be something she can't discuss in front of the sisters. She said something inconceivables happened. The other sinner's anger was completely understandable. But just letting things play out might really turn everyone against Faust. Besides, I doubt Faust woke us up in the middle of the trip just to spite us. First things first, I gotta get the sinners to calm down. Tell us what happened. After some time, the gist of Faust's explanation was as follows. The cause of this issue, as always, involved a certain contract and a unilateral decision from the higher-ups of Limbuzz Company. W Corp caught wind of Limbuzz Company's recent distortion contract management promotions and decided to contract us to deal with the mysterious repeated series of incidents suspected to have been caused by a distortion after multiple failed attempts to resolve it of their own. Distortions, like themselves, did not pose a problem for W Corp. Based on the available information, it can be determined that they would have all been neutralized as soon as the train arrived, and any transformed passengers would have reverted back to their human forms, but passengers spirited away. Bro, this isn't a distortion, this is a library. Appears to be the most prominent cause of this understanding. She explained that W Corp refused to share anything about the trains because they were concerned about maintaining the secrets of their singularity. Maybe that's why they sought out an upstart business like Limbuzz Company to deal with this. We wouldn't even know where to start if we didn't have access to the information that the identity cards had to offer. Faust produced what appeared to be a key card with a W Corp logo on it before continuing with her explanation. Master key card that can open and close the hibernation capsules at will. We may return to our respective capsules as soon as the contract is fulfilled and safely complete the rest of our journey as we had planned from the beginning. So that it isn't inconceivable, it's completely conceivable, and you fucking lied to us. I'm willing to let this go without saying a piece. Undeniable truth that Faust has disappointed the sinners with what she's done, but she is Faust after all. I'm sure she has backup plans to get us out of the situation. Discuss things with other people is very unlike Faust. Gesellschaft, I mean Faust, has been severed. Yes. smell it at the moment. Guess I was right to be anxious. We are cooked. We are actually cooked.
소재가 준비됐어?
We have backups? Okay. Alright, I guess.
책임은 모두
소재가 저주를 끼얹을 것이 있나 보군요.
이곳에 있는
우와, 기대되네요.
Fast Wi-Fi down? On God.
뒤따르죠.
My access to Faust input and information, which has always been readily available, is completely severed. What if everything about the situation is something you don't have access to yet, like you said last time? One cannot completely dismiss that possibility, but even that is uncertain. Every answer Faust gave me was full of confidence and methodical expertise. I don't think she's ever said a sentence that was full of speculation and doubt. Faust, you are, at the moment, I am limited to operating with only my knowledge. I cannot discern the cause of this disconnection. More than enough precautions have been taken in case of interdimensional travel, but perhaps Faust did not take into account an occasion in which we may have to access an unidentified dimension such as this. Or, even if it was taken into account, this particular dimension may have not yet have been subject to cross-observation. If that is the case, then no, never mind. There was nothing that suggested that my connection to Faust would be lost, not even as we boarded the train. To be honest, this is a rather disagreeable situation for me. I recall the last thing I saw, Faust told me not to worry too much. You can't beat, right? We got this. As the manager, my job is to calm everyone down, etc., etc., etc. The fact that we are currently confined to a warp train and operation must be a source of enough stress. I believe sharing Faust's current state with them would add an unnecessary source of tension. What now? Do we have to take searching sweep around each car or something? If you guys do that, you're cooked. A-Corp's standard time scale, approximately 3 days have passed since our departure. Contract, I acquired the master key. Blinked, I guess it's hibernation for you. As you were all informed prior to boarding, there was no way for the economy class to enter the first class car. That is, that space has remained untouched. However, cross-referencing my own deductions and W Corp's standard fragmentary explanations, I can assume this situation is currently under progress in economy class cars. Out of each other, turning their limbs off, all that mess. I guess that bad in 3 days. They're supposed to be business as usual. If it's something that's out of the ordinary, they want us to deal with that precisely. In my opinion, that is... Dost thou hear aught as I do? I just chopped a fucking piece of my skin. What do you mean by that, bro? Scratching, nay, rapping. Forsooth, past this gate must be... Lady Faust. Distressive noise. Everyone simultaneously turned their heads to look at Faust. To close her eyes briefly in thought. Oh, the detached ruminations. Suddenly crashed through the door and charged wildly in our direction. We got sweepers on this train.
어떤 상황이 닥쳐와도
Craving blood bag passenger.
못하겠습니다. 너무 유치하잖아요.
Yeah, I don't know what to deal with. I don't know how to deal with that. There you go. Poise. poise. But this also gains Serpent's Arm.
목을 콱 물어버리자고.
Oh! That was a high roll. What the heck? For only having one heads there, that was really high.
이제야 실력을 좀 내시네요. 평소에도 이러면 얼마나 좋습니까? 여관에 가면 또 한참을 떠드시고. 바리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요. 해야 할 일이. 이 거리면 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
Ah, she will tails. Unfortunate, man.
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요. 틈을 끊어. 어쩐 일로 진짜 도움이 되는 걸 볼지.
Alright.
이대로
Let's pop this quick A-res. Hell yeah, more poise.
불가 위압. 이제 깨우치시게. 이제
World's most destructive A-res, bro. Holy crap.
이제 끝내지.
3 for 3 kills on the A-res. Why did we need backup for that? What was the point of needing backup for that? That doesn't even make sense. Similar in appearance they may have been to the passengers. Verily, 'tis as though they were in complete want of sense, like people politified by the whale. Don Quixote hesitated until the last second to raise her weapon against them. She hung her head mournfully. Normally, Faust would have told her more information about the monsters before the fight had begun, and she would not have been burdened by the sure thought of bringing harm to the innocent. Faust began searching the area, closely observing various bodies in the general area for information. You appear particularly inquisitive today, Miss Faust. Aren't you usually the one that has answers while we're racking our brains trying to come up with something? Sinners were starting to feel that there's something off about Faust's behavior. They may even realize there's something wrong with Faust. You don't need to back up. It's just this interval was the introduction of the backup mechanic. Oh, I see. That makes sense. Observe closer. The parts are all tethered to one another by something, are they not? Appears that the flow of time has ceased in this space. Therefore, it follows that the connections, the tethered bodies to life and away from death, remain intact. To my relief, Faust managed to correctly figure out what's going on, like her usual self, even if it took her slightly longer than it usually does. But I'd forgotten that not all sinners were content with nodding along to whatever Faust told us. Flow of time has ceased aboard a warp train, is it? I grew pensive. Seeing that, Faust's lips parted for a moment before closing shut. I was starting to get a good read of her expressions. There was an unmistakable look of regret, however short-lived. Howbeit, would it not be more accurate to muse that the flow of time has decelerated to a point of where, to an extra-dimensional observer, it has slowed to a stop? What is your perspective regarding this situation? That's the most rational suggestion, you saying? Sure is a time expert, right? Can you summarize it in easier language now that we're talking about it anyway? That's close. To speak in brevity, it can be said that death is not an element aboard this train. To elaborate, Don Quixote lowers her head and listens closely to what appeared to be a dismembered torso and shouts with relief. Their state is akin to an unassembled jigsaw puzzle, merely immobilized and separated. Though their corpus has been sundered, the concept of death is at a state of, for all intents and purposes, eternal delay aboard this train, existence incontinuous of moratorium. Forced they are to be tethered upon the thinnest yet tenacious thread of life. I ill understood what hath been said there, yet they are not all dead, all the same. If their severed parts are all connected, then it can be said that no matter how entangled their bodies become, it is not impossible to eventually gather their parts together to form a single passenger. Thus, naturally, we can determine how and why the profession W Corp cleanup agent has come to be. Someone will have to categorize and reconstruct these puzzles once the journey is over. It's really baffling to me that a job like this even exists. Ever seen a wing that wasn't baffling in every sense of the word? Still, I guess that means as long as the trains arrive at the station, they'll all be put back together like nothing happened. From what I learned through W Corp identities, their main job was to gather trunks of flesh together to bring them back to their original shapes before they boarded the train. It's a lot more visceral when I have to look at it in person. Quite auspicious news amongst tidings indeed. It soon clicked in me that what Faust was, though with some awkward effort, trying to do as I watched Don Quixote sigh with relief. Maybe Faust was trying to cheer Don Quixote up in her own way. The other Faust would not find it even necessary to do something like that, Dante. Indeed, I intend to collect further intelligence. Faust cast a dark gaze toward the chunks of flesh. Her gaze remained fixed upon them as she whispered, "Are they distortions or abnormalities?" They weren't human, that's for sure. From some, or for them, I felt the same distinct sensation I felt from monsters. Something inexplicable, an unclear sensation or an aura. I felt this somewhere before, I'm sure of it, but I couldn't quite pinpoint the source of this sensation. One thing I do know for sure is that this sensation was not the same feeling I got from an abnormality, distortion, or even the Bacatula. If I had to lean one way or the other, I'd say they're closer to distortions. I'm sorry, I don't think they're either of those. Is it difficult to be certain at the moment? Again, I'm not sure how I can explain this, but they're very, very similar to distortions, but also different. If you had to ask, then I'm gonna guess Faust doesn't know. Faust may know, but at this moment, no way of knowing. I feel I should apologize for that. There's no need, Dante. Though the information you provided me is rather ambiguous, it has helped me deduce something of worth. And collecting intelligence myself and creating deductions based on sparse information is quite... She just smiled to herself with gore in her hands. Finally, the awakening has begun. Ryoshu. Oh, Ryoshu's loving this.
오늘 부끄럽지 않았습니다. 의의를 바로 세우는 게 좋아했으니 내일은 더 떳떳이 살아갈 수 있겠군요.
That's it. They can see. After a round of intelligence gathering from Faust, we open the door to the next cabin, only to be greeted by a loud commotion. Faust just died to win rating EXP Lux. That's actually insane. Well, it's because Faust has a setup. You can't just run win rate. It's the same with Malrodia. She also requires setup. Seems like there are no other survivors. Passengers in danger. Worry not, for I have arrived to... When you closer, who the hell are you guys? A four-armed woman suddenly jumped in our path. She appeared without warning. Faust stumbled a little. Right, like you gave me any warning before you practically kicked that door open. Would you mind moving that huge sword out of our faces? It's a bit threatening. Threatening? I'm just trying to protect the civilians in this car. Also, is that a bioprosthetic? Must be an old timer, huh? Thought those days went out of style forever ago. You wanna see what this old timer's got left in him? Huh, thou from the north, verily. The garb is that of northerners, no? This really ain't the time, lass. Anyways, it looks like we're in the same mess here. Make way for us, yeah? You'll be sizing us up for a moment. Got any proof you ain't bitten? I'm not gonna let all my effort protecting this place go to waste. Bitten? The bloody hell are you talking about? You look completely lost. If you're in one of those economy cars, I'm sure you've seen Are you all from the first class car? Yeah, we just woke up from our capsules. Like, multi-crack office rep. With that, she lowered her weapons and allowed us to pass. Have you not left this car for the duration of the ride, Sasha? No, I haven't. We warped over to T Corp after picking up some of their contracts, but geez, can you believe that this train broke down? Shit, is it even broken? I'm not feeling hungry or sleepy at all. It stinks of some of that shady bullshit if you ask me. You can feel all that even in a prosthetic body? Man, how could I live without my favorite hobby? Drifting into a sweet nap after a present meal. So, I made sure to get high quality parts for him so I could still feel hungry and sleepy. Then something else of note occurred. Bet your ass it did. Something else of note go down. At least stop swinging your arms around like that. Can't do that, friend. I broke all my prosthetics arms in a fight, so I'm calibrating a new set. Gotta keep swinging them if I want them to sync up with any of the other parts anytime soon. I don't know what was going on, but people started turning into some weird monsters all of a sudden. Haven't got a goddamn clue as to who they are, and doesn't seem like they can understand us either. Good thing my train car didn't have a lot of those monsters. I just chopped up what monsters there were to pieces and hauled the civilians to this vacant car. You decided to protect them, despite the potential risk that they may transform as well. But of course, 'tis expected duty of the valorous fixer to stand guard in the front lines against evil, to protect the weak. 3 days, so far 0 transformations. Go past this car and you'll see what hell on earth really means. Those monsters are constantly trying to claw their way to the front of the train. So if you ask me, I'd wager that some shit went down there at one of the train cars in the back, and it spread like wildfire till it reached here. That's all I can tell you about the situation. So what's your story? Why'd you rich first-class folks suddenly decide to grace us presence with your service? I did not say that right at all. Nothing that's happening here could have made it to your swanky first-class cars. So what's your business down here? W Corp has hired us to solve this case. We are fixers, indeed, fixers. Faust nodded reluctantly as she affirmed Don Quixote's boisterous declaration. You get every single one of you a first-class ticket? Your office must be rolling in the dough. Wait a damn second. So W Corp already knew this would happen? But are you really contracted to a wing? Not sure if I trust you. As you must be well aware yourself, contracts and contract fulfillment are of paramount importance for fixers. With that in mind, please recall that W Corp is one of the most secretive wings of the city. An NDA, huh? Makes sense. I wouldn't want to deal with those oofy boys either. I'm still gonna ask for proof that you're actually contracted by W Corp. This is a master key card given to us by W Corp. I believe it can open most doors aboard this train. Let's produce a master key card from her pocket. I guess there really isn't any other way for us to prove it. Oh, nice materials. Looks like you're telling the truth. Alright, I won't pry. Not like there's any cash in it for me either. So I guess you gotta go all the way down there for your job, huh? Fixer finally got out of our way, then with one of our free hands pointed towards the opposite door. Or your victory lap, if you guys are really that good. Lots of luck to y'all. I thank thee for thy words of courage, Fixer Sasha. I trust thee shall protection of this fortress, prithee, protect the innocents in my stead. Oh, just as we were about to reach the other end of the car, a little passenger pulled on Don Quixote's coattails. Aye, forsooth. Forsooth once again, thou may knowest me as the profoundly illustrious Fixer. A Fixer too, just like you. Don't pester the lady, I'm sorry, she's my daughter, and worry not thyself, 'tis no bother at all. Thou must dream of becoming a Fixer thyself, little squire. Presence ensured that child's survival. All of a sudden, no need to keep up opportunities between people in the same line of work. I'm just here to collect some sweet, sweet emergency contract fees from each and every one of them. Are you two on something or what? See. Be like that, Faust. Be like what? He was actually here to protect them out of the goodwill, but you decided to go with Don Quixote's solutions anyways, am I right? Good move. I was worried about what might happen if she started acting out again. Saw that twinkle in her eyes too, right? Don Quixote has always been energetic, but she's been especially bouncy today. Faust strode towards Sasha with the question. 30K on per inquiry. That is quite an unsound decision to make for someone who claims to be in the same line of work as us. Have you considered the possibility that once our contract is successfully completed, we could include references to a particularly cooperative associate office in our report to W Corp? Were the eyes of the monster you face red by any chance? There's this monster red all over, but is there something special about their eye color? Well, for one, my prosthetic eye is red. The passenger over there's got red eyes, and oh, the big sword also has red eyes. No, well, it was a question of no significance. Faust nodded lightly in her direction, then opened the door to the next car. It was just as we had feared. The scene that appeared for us looked like it came straight out of a painting of hell. Yeah, some light. The lobotomy corpse looked grosser.
이런 임무는 뱀 중에서도 내가 제일이지.
두려움을 모르는 건 나쁘지 않습니다만 또 무식하게 돌격하실 거라면 전 빠지겠습니다.
목을 콱 물어버리자.
Light work.
무상한 목숨.
I don't know how that landed. But easy 64 turn 1. I'll take it.
평소에도 이러면 얼마나 좋습니까?
Very nice.
또 한참 못 얻으시네. 바리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
Oh, very nice. Oh, peak. Nice little 58. Turn 1. Or turn 2. And she's about to run. Yeah, she's about to run traceless. Oh, the last one didn't land perfect.
충분해. 너한텐.
No way. She rolled all tails there? That's so gross.
저도 그렇게만 해주세요.
시간 끌 것 없이 모두를 지워버리죠. 깨우치시게. 빈틈투 깔끔하게 물었군. 어머, 놀랐어? 시도는 좋았어요.
Some light.
오늘 부끄럽지 않았습니다.
Alright, I'm here.
일을 바로 세우고
Was doing a solo Kanto 7 final boss run for fun. Oh shit, nice dude. Don't forget to leave a like, chat. We really am trying to grow the channel. We keep fluctuating between like 412 and 415. It's very sad.
이거 참 설레는구려.
두려움을 모르는 건 나쁘지 않습니다만
Alright, nice first turn
하실 거라면
serpent.
전 빠지겠습니다.
불가 위야.
All of our turn 1 luck is like in intervalos, bro. It's like actually tragic.
숨통 끊기.
이 거리면 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
어떤 상황이 닥쳐와도 포기한 이건 못하겠습니다. 너무 유치하잖아요.
Bro. All three
제가 실력을 내
on 14 is crazy work, bro. We have a 45 and roll all heads.
무용하군요. 틈을 끊어. 이제 깨우치시게.
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요. 어쩐 일로 진짜 도움이 되는 걸 걸치고 오셨네요. 이대로 몰아넣으시죠.
목을 콱 물어버리자고.
I'm gonna pop off with 2 A reses here.
놀랐어?
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
약점을 잘 노리셨습니다. 이제 해결사의 전투법도 익숙해지셨네요.
흑순 뒷받질 춤.
Oh, traceless?
무용하군요.
Nice.
깨우치시게.
238 off that.
빈틈 투성이네.
Not even ascended.
불끈한 지원을.
이건 뭐
Dude, off a broken? 82 off a broken is actually so fire.
아무것도 아닙니다.
깔끔하게 몰았군.
여관에 가면 또 한참을 떠드시고. 바리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
Wait a second, there's no way. That's so funny. Why do we have the ego? We have the... Why do we have the... Oh, I'm losing my fucking mind right now. What are they called? We have like the sin affinities for it, for no reason.
모조리 지워버리죠.
Nice. Rolling a 4 is actually crazy work.
꺼져. 사과는 어디에 숨겼지?
Bro, only rolling a singular heads on an overclock gotta be the saddest shit in history. This is old, but your shitty 12 roll on an Angelus 4-match flame in LOR is roughly a 0.25% chance. So it's the equivalent of rolling 2 tails at 45 SP. Yeah, I know. Every time you roll 2 tails, it's Angelus cursing you. Ah, Bumjula. Woo. I don't want to think about that. Batting in a narrow hallway really takes a lot out of you. Too bad. Making big movements when there's not a lot of room takes more energy than you might think. Especially for people like us who use longer weapons. Weren't much harder than the ones we'd fought earlier, but it was inevitable that the sheer number of them would eventually wear down the sinners. Same question? Oh no, are you giving us a chance to come up with our own answers first? Of course, Faust did not confirm nor deny this question, but Sinclair is perfectly capable of interpreting her silence in his own fashion. There's some things I learned after fighting them, I think. These monsters aren't mad at us, nor do they want to attack us because we're an obstacle. That's not why they're attacking us. 'Tis apparent that they hunger for aught, charging at anyone and anything in desperate quest for it. Strange, though. I thought hunger or thirst wasn't a thing aboard these trains. Most overclocks are negative coins and want tails. Bro, half your IDs either shoot people or punch people. Fuck you mean you need space. Also, how the fuck does Heathcliff have enough space to summon Dullahan? I don't know. Yes, was there anything else? They all had red eyes. Their bodies wreathed in blankets of red. I smelled blood, so that's what they're made of. Must be that the red was congealed in a crystallized blood. Thank you. Your input has been very helpful. You're in luck, Dante. I have read upon the subject as a tangent while pursuing information regarding our next destination, moments aboard boarded the train. A useful element in resolving the situation, the sinners have been a very good source of intelligence when it came to categorizing and identifying important information from the available sea of information. Your advice was correct. So with absolute certainty, however, this would be a good place for us to start. Use the solution to this current predicament. That will not change, no. However, what I'm about to share with you will give you a better understanding of the purpose behind W Corp's contract. The same size but dull hand is comically tiny. Yes, the fuck you, I'm gonna unfaust your Faust, Intervallo. Why does my phone filter bad language on YouTube streams? That's funny. I don't think mine does that. At least I don't think. No, it doesn't. It's probably a setting. Don't forget to like the video, guys. Don't forget to like the stream. Is a blood fiend. Wait, she's so beyond wrong.
부끄럽지 않았습니다.
Wait, she's like actually so beyond wrong. Blood fiends are next, our next canto.
돌아가지 못하리라.
Faust is wrong? Question mark. What in the name of the wings is that? Thought you were our team expert on obscure lore. Perchance I have let a magazine article slip from my memory. Can you exist outside of the Quinto? Nah, they're not allowed to do that. It sounds a bit different from what I've heard. I heard their fear of garlic and sunlight is just a rumor. I have been briefed on the existence of blood fiends in the past when I served as commanding officer. And I've seen the dregs that they command. Though my memory isn't clear, I'm very certain that these monsters here do not resemble what I've seen. I've seen one who called themselves a blood fiend among the ranks of the fingers. But the thing that blood fiend commanded weren't like these rubber textured ones. Something off about this one. That one didn't spawn these dregs with abandon like this. Aren't you supposed to know this already? They usually reference the primary focus of the canto and the preluding intervallo. Yes, I see that some sinners have encountered blood fiends in the past. A long-winded explanation seems unnecessary. Do not appear to be blood fiends. In a sense, they are dreg-like beings that have failed to become kindreds. They are referred to as blood bags among relevant parties, according to information I'm aware of. Well, name. No one names their own blood bag. As has been said prior, it is impossible for passengers to disappear aboard warp trains under normal circumstances. Though our reserve of intelligence regarding warp trains or W Corp is vast, if incomplete, we could not find a possible exception to the above rule. With that reserve of intelligence, however, I have discovered that inserting a previously unseen variable into the equation allows for the formulation of new hypotheses. Like how Heath looks for an outfit for Canto 6 in the Christmas intervallo, and how we make Mythothes a boat in the sea intervallo. Saying that these blood fiends can completely erase people or passengers from existence. A more accurate descriptor would be to say that they are either dissolved or vaporized. No matter the degree of violence the passengers may indulge in, no matter how severe their wounds may be, the warp trains can revert them to their initial state at the beginning of the journey. Among several interpretations of the word of violence involves cannibalism, of course. However, as the passenger's collective time itself is in memoriam for the duration of the train's operation, digestion is not a biological process that should be active. In other words, even the devoured passengers can be reconstructed. What's up, crazy? Don't forget to like the stream, gang. Doesn't warp harvest time by using the suffering of passengers to mark its passage, like how the guy in the last canto with no aura said that time changes with emotions. Am I tweaking? I don't remember. However, such is not true for blood bags. By nature, obsessed with blood, their existence hinges on supplying themselves with the blood of their victims. Instead, they must consume a minuscule amount of blood to maintain their forms. Consumption of blood for blood fiends and blood bags is fundamentally different process from our consumption of nutrients for energy. To them, blood is a culmination, an entailment of something that forms the self. You exist in moratoria of time at the present moment, Heathcliff, yet your emotions still persist. Do they not? Anger, sad joy, they continue to spark within you. Though we cannot tell whether they may be in a state of alteration, or whether they remain ensnared in the wheel of creation and destruction, it can be said that emotions, once past, exist not in continuum. passengers' will to live, the worth of their very existence in which they thrive, do they not all gently atrophy into non-existence even amidst the ceased time? Miss Faust seeks to illustrate the similarity between how emotions are to ourselves and how blood is to blood fiends. So that's why they said blood is vaporized, huh? If that's the case, then the very blood that's supposed to bind these chunks of flesh together will also evaporate. As soon as they can't be pieced back together. There is no incongruence in that logic. Everyone fell silent for a moment. There's way too much information to process at once. We don't even know what to make of them either. I would like to ask a few questions if you would permit me. Could it be said that blood bags are direct creations of blood fiends? If such is the case, then by which method do they? The information is inaccessible at the moment. There isn't anything I can do about this. The sinners will only get more stressed if they find out what's going on with Faust, and that's something we both want to avoid. It's only a speculation, however. I assume that a form of direct physical contact is needed to turn an individual into a blood bag. If such were not the case, then we, who are likely the greatest obstacles to this entity's goal at the moment, would have been the first ones to be turned. Indeed. In that case, the villain of a blood fiend must be hiding out somewhere on the train. Faust no discord is a fun Faust? True. Indeed, if we are to believe the words of the fixer from earlier, then there is a high likelihood that the horde is advancing in this direction from the back of the train. In other words, continuing down the train cars will lead us straight to the blood fiend. Faust chord. Very well, I shan't forsake this opportunity to bring peace to the souls of the innocent passengers who have perished by the villain's hands. Dante. It seemed that Don Quixote was now invigorated. The other sinners also seemed satisfied now that we had a clearer sight of our goal. Faust, who stood amidst them, nodded in my direction. Well then, let's go. We're making the best of what's available to us at the moment. Let's move forward for now.
두려움을 모르는 건 나쁘지 않습니다만 또 무식하게 돌격하실 거라면 전 빠지겠습니다.
Bro, what is this first turn luck, dude? 3 S3s, turn 1, dude. I can't get this any other time. It's literally only in intervalos. Oh my god, bro. She actually lost like the greatest S3 ever, bro. Holy shit.
이건 예상 못했나 봐.
아직 죽지 마라.
어쩐 일로 진짜 도움이 되는 걸 걸치고 오셨네요. 이대로 몰아넣으시죠.
흑수며 뒷박질 춤.
Yeah, I know, right, bro? The fucking tails.
무상한 목숨. 불끈의 지원이
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요. 이제야 실력을 좀 내시고 평소에도 이러면 얼마나 좋습니까?
불가 위야. 막아내지 못. 어머, 놀랐어?
Blink stop.
어머, 놀랐어?
여관에 가면 또 한참을 떠드시. 바리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
흑수며 뒷박질 춤.
Are you liking this intervalo so far? It's pretty good. The story behind this one is nice. It's pretty concise. It's not as boring.
이제 깨우치시게.
Probably because we're already familiar with the warp train, so you kind of like, so you kind of want to learn more about it. Whereas T Corp is just some fucking nigga with dissociative identity disorder. That's the entirety of the plot of the time killing time. Literally just some nigga with DID.
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 지워버리죠.
Gang, just press win rate.
아직 죽지 마라.
These are not supposed to rip space. Simplified. Aren't supposed to use their S3. If you do, the background flashes red and a warning sound plays lol. Just a flavor thing, it doesn't actually change anything.
어머, 빈틈투성이네.
That's funny, dude.
빈틈투성이네.
I might pop in Dawn just for fun.
오늘 부끄럽지 않았습니다. 출발합니다.
Just for funny. Just for the funny.
이제
저주를 끼얹을 것이
이곳
와 기대되네요.
Your account is deleted? That's funny.
박질 시간.
My source is it came to me in a dream. I love that.
두려움을 모르는 건 나쁘지 않습니다만 또 무식하게 돌격하실 거라면 전 빠지겠습니다.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
어떤 상황이 닥쳐와도 포기한 이건 못하겠습니다. 너무 유치하잖아요.
목을 콱 물어버리자고.
Just hoping she wins this clash, dude.
틈을 끊어.
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요.
Oh, come the fuck on. Scam.
무상한 목숨. 불끈 지원해.
약점을 잘 노리셨습니다. 이제 해결사의 전투법도 익숙해지셨네요.
자,
이제야 실력을 좀
저기
내시네요.
잘 생각해보라고.
평소에도 이러면
끝내지.
얼마나 좋습니까?
이 거리는
Literally, the
충분해.
Kyoto bus,
너한텐
everyone claps and everyone eats a sandwich.
멀겠지만
Insane work.
이 거리면 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만 이제 깨우치시게.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
Who got staggered?
어쩐 일로
Of fucking
진짜
course.
도움이 되는 걸 걸치고 오셨네요. 이대로 몰아넣으시죠.
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 지워버리죠. 틈을 끊어. 바로
Yeah, it's not difficult for me to figure out who Sancho is, bro. The ID looks just like Don, like manager Don, and then on top of that, I have the motherfucking
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
on top of that, it literally says like Ascendant Sancho style attacks, bro. The game been spoiled me, bro.
해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고. 이건 예상 못했나봐. 이건 예상 못했나봐.
여관에 가는 또 한참을 더.
Can we rip space yet? No.
바리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
What if I can I do this?
목을 콱 물어버리자고.
두려움을 모르는 건 나쁘지 않습니다만 좀 무식하게 돌격하실 거라면
How many times can I do that? I need to do it one more time. Deal damage on guarding? True.
지긋한 전투가 드디어 하나 끝났네요.
Oh, that's funny. We could hit limit. Yeah. This is unopposed. I love this so much. So then can I do... No.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
No. We got it. We got it.
이제 깨끗해지지.
No! There's simply no chance of seeing it that time. Manager, halt! This nigga's alive. Stay away from me. You want? Is that a cleanup agent? How the fuck are you here? So they began losing their minds in that car. How the fuck, like, why are you here before the train stopped? Struggled to some corner of the room with his wounded leg, pulled on a lever. What's the resistance to a capsule? Small hibernation bot for employees in case of emergency. Alright, guess we'll try again next time. Hopefully
오늘
we get it.
부끄럽지 않았습니다. 의의를 바로 세우는 데 일조하였으니. 이런 임무는 뱀 중에서도 내가 제일이지.
Pretty right. No, I'm pretty sure she just said the N-word, bro. Okay, here we go. See, this is perfect, actually.
전 빠지겠습니다.
Because it's unopposed, which means we're guaranteed to see it.
틈을 끊어.
약점을 잘 노리셨습니다. 이제 해결사의 전투복도 익숙해지셨네요.
That shit did not happen, gang.
두려움을 모르는 건 나쁘지 않습니다만 좀 무식하게 돌격하실 거라면 전 있습니다.
You mean to tell me I have to set it up? Are you fucking kidding me?
내 앞을 막을 자는
Gotta fucking set this shit up. Yeah, bro. I'm about to just be like, you know, we'll come back to this in like 5 years. Oh no, she used it.
저대로 돌려보낼 생각은 아니시죠? 확실히 처리해야 합니다.
So she has 8 now.
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고. 깔끔하게
이제야 실력을 좀 내시네요. 평소에도 이런
She's at 17.
끝내지.
I don't know how many she needs. I really don't know.
너한텐 조금 멀겠지만
이번 모험은 꽤 멋있는 마무리가 되겠군요.
무상한 목숨
아무것도 아닙니다.
불끄득 지원해.
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요.
나는 언제나 달려나갈 준비가 되었어.
Needs 10, huh?
목을 콱 물어버리자고. 놀랐어?
Never figure out how offense or defense levels work. I've been figured that out.
방향이 아닐 텐데.
그걸 그 무기로 때리시면
허술하게.
어쩐 일로
Alright.
진짜 도움이 되는 걸 걸치고 오셨네요. 이대로
Well, she's supposed to have it, but I don't see her with it right now. It's supposed to be unopposed. Okay, good, it is.
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
여관에 가면 또 한참을 떠드시고 바리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
자, 어느 쪽일지
God, if
잘
K Corp
생각해보라고.
Hong Lu was in backup right now, Crisis would be squad right now.
무용하군요. 시도는 좋았어요.
걱정은 하지 않겠습니다. 어차피 이미 이길 거라.
Alright, so she gets it next turn. So as long as they don't die immediately, we should be okay.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
I can't guarantee. I think he's dead. There are a couple that are alive right now.
지긋지긋한 전투가 드디어 하나 끝났네요.
Good. Okay, it's unopposed. We should finally fucking see it. There's like literally no way we don't see this shit.
이제 깨우치시게. 자, 다음은 어디요? 오늘 부끄럽지 않았습니다. 의를 바로 세우는 데 일조하였으니 내일은 더 떳떳이 살아갈 수 있겠군요.
I think. Yeah, I think it would have been cooler if we saw the entire skill. I think she only landed up to like the third one, right? Let me see again. One, two, three, four. Yeah, she only got to the fourth instead of the fifth. I think we would have seen like the full thing. Unfortunate. Unfortunate.
잠깐, 이번 임무는 내가 나갈게. 괜찮지?
New frame in the morning gets played for like another 2 seconds. Spend all your lunacy on extraction tickets on Capo Mersal, right? I have to read the ID, dude.
잠깐,
이사명을 받듭니다. 책임은 모두 내리지만, 책임은 모두.
소재가
이곳에 있나니
저주를 끼얹어
와, 기대되네요.
흥미로운 일이 벌어지면 좋겠어요.
Why is the audio doubled? I guess the headphones are like off.
어떤 상황이 닥쳐와도
Saving all my lunacy for Wob
이건 못하겠습니다.
first week and then shard him.
너무 유치하잖아요.
Yeah. How many was that? 3? I think that's 3 S3s.
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘
Nice.
생각해보라고.
Nah, of course.
이 거리면 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
That's great. I don't know how you rolled that.
자, 숨통 끊기.
No way.
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게
Clutched.
해주세요.
Clutched curse rate. All my Tim Blades of the East ID. Yeah, bro, you know, honestly,
어쩐 일로 진짜 도움이 되는 걸 걸치고 오셨네요. 이대로 몰아넣으시죠.
can we just get like an Olivier ID, please? I just want an Olivier ID.
생각해보라고.
이제야 실력을 좀 내시네요. 평소에도 이러면 얼마나 좋습니까?
허술하게.
여관에 가면 또 한참을 떠드시고. 바리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
Finn ID. Yeah, can we just get like the head ID, bro? Can we just get that? Why don't we have a head ID yet?
이 거리면 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
이번 모험은
Completely break the game?
약점을 잘 노리셨습니다. 이제 해결사의 총투법도 익숙해지셨네요. 그걸 그 무기로 때리시면.
Chat, right or left? I don't know, right?
빈틈투성이네. 허술하게.
What happened? What happened? Said his gambling paid off. Can I get like 50 bands? Don't say that. Don't say that, Smouch. Don't say that, bro.
깔끔하게 물었군.
어머, 놀랐어? 빈틈 투성이네. 오늘 부끄럽지 않았습니다. 의의를 바로 세우는 데 일조하였으니 내일은 떳떳이 살아갈 수 있겠군요.
Can't wait for the in-court fucks to challenge us in Kanto 25 and watch Ryoshu turn into the purple tear, Rhodia into the red mist, Heathcliff into the black silence, Gregor into Brawl, Dawn into Xena, and Honglu into the blue reverberation. Dear Lord. Alright.
Oh my gosh, I'm fat!
What? What'd you say?
I lifted my shirt and I look fat.
Evelyn, you're the same weight you were every day for the last 30 days.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna freak out.
Oh my god.
No,
There you
babe,
go.
look. There's no figure no more.
What do you you look the exact same as you do all the time. What are you talking about?
Okay, you know what? I'm not going to the gym right now. I have permission to stop.
It's literally been like 3 days. Herman watching as the goofy bus people casually turn into color fixers and agents of the head.
목을 콱 물어버리자고. 무상한 목숨.
Yeah, Sonya and Kanto fucking 33 when fucking when fucking Sinclair turns into literally just the head. Like the entire head.
어떤 상황이 닥쳐와도 포기한
우리가 위야.
이건 못하겠습니다.
막아내지 못하리.
너무 유치하잖아요.
참 무용하군요.
이건 예상 못했나 봐.
Worst season 6 ID? I can concur with that. She does seem very lackluster. Her S2's not bad though.
이제야 실력.
Her S2's a pretty good 4 coin.
그래도 이러면 얼마나 좋습니까?
허술하게.
여관에 가면 또 한참을 떠드시고. 다리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
I don't want a Black Silence Roland ID, I want an Angelica one? I don't know about that. Yeah, she's not bad, but she's not good either, and everyone else is just good.
뒷박질 중.
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요.
이건 예상 못했나 봐.
So she becomes pregnant and dies. No, that's her on Clash lose guard, bro. Her on Clash lose power guard is becomes pregnant and dies.
있으신 거 알고 있습니다. 조금
Oh, Jesus Christ.
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
틈 끊어. 바로
Really annoying, yeah. Summons a corroded Roland right after, and he kills every enemy on screen and all your sinners.
가치 없고.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데. 이건 예상 못했나 봐.
어쩐 일로 가지고 오셨네요. 이대로 몰아넣으시죠.
Maybe it'll get better once we get the other GIDs, but still, it's possible. She might sink really well for no reason.
숨통 끊기. 가치 없고 죽어.
틈을 끊어. 바로 이제 깨우치시게.
이제 끝내지.
이 거리면 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만. 거스르기.
I haven't been keeping up with the season. I really need to get it. We're getting another Heishu? Oh, that's fucking peak. We were on the final car adjacent to the Frank car and we discovered that odd box with the T Corp logo on it. Only on rare occasions that they urgently request the assistance of less significant, lesser-known corporations, such as our own Limbuzz company. Wall that's falling apart. Speaking of falling, this room sure got messed up, huh? It was difficult for me to ignore how Rhodia hurriedly swerved to a different subject, as though she'd made a mistake. Various destroyed prosthetic parts covered in human remnants indicates that this train car was boarded by several prosthetic-equipped fixers. I can't even think about that right now. Let's deal with the task at hand first. Sailors worked over to T Corp on an expedition. Same standardized status of prosthetics. Same make, same model, everything. The bloodied. At the platform. Suddenly started venting at us. Expedition. Wait a minute. He said he was going to T Corp. I guess he's returning to P Corp? But he ran to a different station than them. Funds is gone? What do you mean? Huh. He felt bad about being 14? What does that mean? battle between the fixers and the blood bags. Thought he went to a different station than us. Employees with attitudes like yours often made it to the end of the war. He said he said it just felt like he didn't belong there because everyone else was older. It's unfortunate, dude. Usually compete with these deductions within moments after establishing a few basic cross-references. It's not about the work thing, it's just about like him feeling like he doesn't necessarily belong. Which, I mean, the content is, you know, it's a bit more adultish, so I guess that makes sense, right? Find mirrored in you is not unlike your own. It is like lying my back over an unseen grave, for the reflection of radiance upon my eyes and the sanguine scent. What is this nigga yapping about? You sang first stuck on the first part of her sentence. However, they walked up to her and shared a few words of consolation. That was curt. She closed her eyes. 12 passenger cars, 1 freight car. We're on the 11th car at the moment. That leaves a single car between us and the freight car in which the Mephistopheles is secured. Which means that there is a high likelihood that we will soon encounter the blood fiend responsible for the creation of the blood bags aboard this train. How impressive could it be that if it's fodders of this week, we practically smashed through their entire horde, no problem. How does one become a scholar? Just like be in the server for a little bit. I just pay attention to like who's active in the server. Let me see here. Like if I go to your thing, no, Smouch, that's not true. That is not true. Yeah, Duck has the Sage role because he made my profile picture. Wait, is that actually how you got it? That's funny as shit. That's possible. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta check the audit log. That's so fucking funny. Filter by update member roles. Corona would have been last Tuesday. And it's been a month since you it's been a month since you gave me that, right? So let me see here. Super Joe. Was it May 10th? Scholarly pursuit of cash makes sense. Smouge. Hold on, I can find out. I can find out what day it was. Cause it boils down to me not talking to people ever. Yeah, okay, it was the day after, so yeah, you're right. That's funny, dude. That's fucking hilarious. No, it was literally the day after that you got the scholar role, so that's probably why. Crabbo's been in since November. How many times has he chatted? Let's see. It's a pretty significant amount. I've got 3 pages of chat. How many? What are we rolling with Dippy? 58 chats from Smouge. Let me see from Dippy. Dippy, see, because Dippy's chatted 1,170 times, Crab. You know, that's like, you know, in terms of equity, float like one of those cartoon characters whenever they smell money. Maybe, I might. You'll have to donate to find out. Like, if we're talking about, like, you know, equity in the channel, guys, like, Crabbomb really only said, like, 58 things. Crazy said, like, 1,100. On stream. Chill out. Yo, the slander's fucking crazy. I only give cash to people in need. I'm in need. I'm in need. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever considered that? Duck has chatted 628 times. Like cancer patients and myself. I am myself. What are you talking about? I'm literally myself. So you should give cash. Yeah, nah. I'm just fucking around. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. That's fine. Sudden outburst made people stop chatting. With that, the door opened. Servers, so however many chats I have is probably more than every other server I have combined. That means a lot, actually. That tugs on my heartstrings. How the fuck did I end up with 9 people watching me right now? What the fuck? This room. Oh fuck, it was a blood fiend. What the fuck? Thou standest in audience of the prince. Oh hell nah. Got another Don Quixote. Why? Fall to thy knees and grovel before royalty. Who the hell are you to make those demands? No, literally. Bring your bleed team 100%. Yeah, well, you're like 50 seconds late, bro. Thou mayest address me as Prince Cassetti, the sixth kindred, or kindred of the sixth generation, the rightful prince in refuge from his family. $20 says this bitch is somehow a relative of Don. Probably. Art thou the villain who hath brought such destruction and massacre upon this vessel? Thou art a chatty one, so rudely before your prince, yet I am feeling generous, for I am quite sated at the moment. As thou must have seen on thy journey here, this place is a hall of banquet for a feast most majestic. No matter how many blood bags I create, no matter how much I devour them, the humans just won't stop coming. I only enjoy what is cast into my maw. He donned a mask for the purpose of merrymaking. If we're really going to exchange pleasantries, why don't you take that mask off? Or are you unfamiliar with basic etiquette? Oh, this mask won't come off. Can't take it off. Shouldn't take it off. There is no prince without the mask. We're so ugly behind the mask, so we all decided to hide how repulsive we've become. But once I've drunk your blood full, then it'll all go back to how it used to be. Only then can I unmask myself. Use just that mask to your face, not a half-paid job. Of course it's excellent, because this mask was crafted by none other than the great and eminent barber, whose name I dare not even speak. But it hurts so much. Bloodfiend and a water balloon throwing child. This guy's the shittiest mirror gym pack, only beaten boredom by the Christmas Intervallo pack. I only talk this pack when I'm using my charge team. The exclusive ego gifts. No, I'm smiling. Look how hard I'm smiling and laughing. Yes, I'm the prince, that's what I am. He's a bloody loon. Alright, done with the giggles then. Get ready for the beating of your life. I enjoy things like you and your friends. Don't cry, bawling and bowing and sniveling on the ground for your lives. Lunge at me instead, The aggression, the boiling blood. Oh, how I love the fire. R4 pack. Let your guard down, Heathcliff. This entity has managed to turn countless passengers into this train, into his blood bags. I ain't letting my guard down, but we blasted through so many blood bags we couldn't even keep count, could we? Couldn't even keep count? Oh no, but the count is so important. I have to keep count of our visitors. Oh yes, of course, I do remember to keep count of our dearest visitors. Yes, sir, I do.
Ew.
You have no idea how powerful I am, and I shall not relinquish my throne to thee from this budding kingdom. All I have to do is sit here and do nothing, and the blood bags present themselves before me. There's no paradise like this out there. You have no idea what I did to create this place. Catch them into one clash and kills my entire team. Oh, how my elated forbearer kindreds would be, should they be here to witness that I have created this cornucopia of abundance, this pleasure, oh, this freedom. But this kingdom is mine, I made it. I'm not giving it away, nope. This is rather curious. It appears this Bloodfiend leaves this car only on rare occasions, yet we have seen signs of his insidious influence throughout every car we have visited so far. Then what he meant by how the bloodbags present themselves before him has to be, hold on a minute. Yeah, figure suddenly and frantically charged into this car. It was Sasha the Fixer we ran into in one of the earlier cars. Cassetti sinks into his throne at the sudden burst, terror apparent on his face. It is thee. Why the fuck are you here? Lo, that villain is the Bloodfiend responsible for the tragedies that have transpired aboard this train. Help us slay that cur and eventually lead the passengers thou hast protected thus far out of this train. Bloodfiends. What if there were more than a single Bloodfiend on board? One still capable of rational thoughts. Damn, you actually made it all the way back here? I guess the wings don't just give out contracts to anyone. I used to fight to my damnness, too, till I was the last one standing. What's she talking about? Where did that leave me? In the end, I stood alone with nothing but a single one of these arms left. Kind of funny how the perspective on life just completely flip when you're really in the shit. I think my last thoughts were, man, I don't want to die. So I fell on my knees and pleaded. I told him that Don Quixote, watch out, that I'd do anything to live. Blood rapidly crystallized around Sasha like a suit of armor. She swung her greatsword at the sinners, striking them even before Faust had finished her sentence. Give me a warning before jumping in like that. Don't you know how loud your stupid arms are? I thought the family had come for me. Sorry, Lord Cassetti. and introduce my kindred to thee, to be my first of many since my escape. For the kingdom I intend to build, my kindred, my loyal squire, who shall be at my side as I build a dynasty of my own, my family. You thought there was a nice fixer? That's not a fixer. That's a blood fiend. I intended to select the most powerful of the bunch to sit in this car, as you have commanded me, but the humans in my car are all weaklings, so I present before you this group from the first-class car. Exact nature of a kindred? Nah, but I can tell you this. When I accepted my lord's blood into my veins, it was though I was reborn. Kindred is like a sub-entity of a blood fiend. Similar in concept to sub-entities created by distortion or abnormalities, it must have been desperation that drove you to accept the prosperity without any hesitation, by lack of relevant information. Before I became a kindred, thou hast been in cohorts with the villain. Lady, you have no idea how much I freaked out when one of you asked me something about red eyes. Not that it mattered if you did suspect me, though, since my red eye is just a prosthetic. Then the passengers who were under your protection, the line the better. Dozens of blood bags began shambling into the room behind Sasha. A smaller one among them stood out to me. My mind immediately snapped to the child who grabbed Don Quixote's coattails. I knew that the passengers were dead the moment we realized Sasha was a blood fiend, but this... I really hoped that I wouldn't have to face this reality. Not like this. There was a child. Yep, little Run wanted to be a fixer if she got to grow up. Good thing she won't, though. I can tell you, on good authority, that living as a blood bag is way better than the drudgery that is the life of a fixer. Believe me, I'd know. Hold thy vile tongue. Dreaming of becoming a famous, respected fixer and an actor of justice. It's all just a stupid pipe dream that always ends up crushing in disappointment. Or really, really early grave. Silence! Don Quixote did not give Sasha time to finish her sentence. She was already charging full speed with her lance drawn.
두려움을 모르는 건 나쁘지 않습니다만 또 무식하게 돌격하실 거라면 전 빠지겠습니다.
Is it actually worth bringing my bleed team? No. The answer is no. Okay, cool. Is it this fight or the next fight that I need a bleed team for?
약점을 잘 노리셨습니다. 이제 해결사의 총격도 익숙해지셨네요.
그쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
괜찮은
그렇게만 해주세요.
Not entirely sure why my headphones decided to not exist for a second, but they definitely did. For those of you new to the channel, thank you for tuning in. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want. There's a Discord server if you want to chat with us there. How's everyone doing tonight? I haven't asked that quite yet.
끝내지. 지긋지긋한 전투가 드디어 하나 끝났네요.
자, 그쪽일지 잘
Waiting for this boss to show up. Blink Step got cooked. So I can do my mildly legal 9 to 5 for my uncle now. Love that.
지금 알겠지만 그걸 무기로 때리시.
Damn, these guys take forever to kill. These guys just, they don't like to die.
좀 내시네요. 평소에도 이러면 얼마나 좋습니까?
That 1 HP, bro.
끝내지.
빈틈투성이네.
Got back from vacation a few days ago, so it's been nice. Solid. Oh, damn, I'm so sorry, Crisis. Sorry for what? Did it catch streams again? Oh, thanks. You don't have a single evade skill. Is that supposed to mean something? What do you mean? Is that bad? Like, what's going on?
시간 끌 것 없이
You'll see? Why does everyone keep saying that? Everyone keeps saying that I need an evade skill.
숨통 끊기.
빈틈투성이네.
허술하게. 걱정은 하지 않겠습니다. 어차피 이미 이길 거라고 확신하고 있으실 테니까.
I don't have it. There's a wave 2? Bro, look, I'm just trying to beat this clash. Unless you're saying I'm gonna need ego for the next, like, for the next one. Could also be true. She's about to stagger. You're right, I can just stagger her. That is an option. Yeah, fuck am I doing all this extra work for?
죽지 마.
Just stagger her.
이제 끝내지. 걱정은 하지 않겠습니다. 어차피 이미 이길 거라고 확신하고 있으실 테니까.
Peek.
흑승, 뒷박질 춤. 시도는 좋았어요.
Needed to be created without their authorization. Is this bumbling fool? Yeah, it must be the responsibility of a parent to clean up. What a load of shit. With that, Cassetti reached out towards a pile of blood bags and ate them, I guess. armor-hardened blood material over the Bloodfiend's body. His sheer aggression and hatred was palpable. He has empowered himself. Challenge me, O rebels, challenge thy king.
보이신 것 같은데요. 저 기세가 확연히 달라졌어요.
He sees juice boxes.
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
Oh, he staggers super low. You gotta hit him for fucking 20 minutes before he staggers. Holy crap. Check his passives and you'll see why Dippy mentioned Bleed Team. Alright, hold on.
무상은 없어.
Nice roll.
불끈한 지원.
그쪽은
Nice.
아닐 텐데.
그 거인들과 싸울 때가 떠오르네요. 또 날아가기 싫으시면 제대로 보고 대처하셔야 합니다. 이건 안 받아들일 테니까요.
Who said I didn't have an evade skill? Just kidding. There's nothing I could do about it. How can you tell his main target? Oh, I see. It's him. Gains a new pattern when stored blood reaches 0. I'm the prince of the parade. Panic and panic and panic and panic. I can't see it. Well, if it doesn't matter, just stack. Just stack anyways.
흑승, 뜀박질 중. 잠깐 기다려. 어쩐 일로 진짜 도움이 되는 걸 고치고 오셨네요. 이대로 몰아넣으시죠.
Can I do it now? I can do it now. Fuck, that still loses. By like a lot. No, it does beat the absolute fuck out of it. Is this unclashable? Hello? Is it unclashable? Why am I not clashing this? That doesn't make any sense. It's overclocked. You can't select target. No. Fuck do you mean I can't select that target? That's so fucking lame. Oh, who staggered? Ryeshu, of course. Okay.
불가 위야. 막아내지 못하리.
Alright, this A-Res better go hard as shit, bro. Come on. Yep, there we go. Okay, she rolled perfect.
조금만 더.
Get his ass. Get his ass right now.
평범한 적은 아닌가 보네요. 방심하지 말고 제대로 막으셔야 합니다.
불가 위야 막아내지 못하리.
There we go. Run it over and over again, Don. Get his ass.
이 수많은 소원들 중 그대가 이루고 싶은 소원은 무엇인가?
It looks like Buddy's going back.
어떤 상황이 닥쳐와도 포기한 이건 못하겠습니다. 너무 유치하잖아요.
Buddy wasn't even a real blood fiend. Crazy work.
확 물어버리자고. 무용하군요.
Can we get a Prince Sinclair ID? Can we run that? It hurts. Yeah, I bet it does. Gregor and Sinclair got cooked. The battle continued much longer than our scuffles at the K-Corp border checkpoints. Our struggle against the endless hordes. Sinners had all grown much stronger than them, but they were reaching a breaking point. Much of a bum to get a skincare ID. When the Bogat come. Don Quixote continues to wildly pummel the blood fiend with her lance, breaking, stabbing, and crushing every part of him. But if you don't understand, you don't know how awful it is. Surviving for 200 years in that disgusting, horrible... No, I don't even want to think about it. Flesh and organs crushed into a viscous, shapeless mush. Okay, make them kneel. Resistance to their limbs becoming no important, then tools are placed. Looking to protect. There's a key card. Leaped. Bogak will give a generic W Corp announcer and a charge ID. So I don't think it's gonna be Prince Sinclair. Said so in stream from earlier today. This is so sad. Thought that keycard will be trapped for thousands of years. Faust is an admirable sinner with or without Faust. The Blood Fiend is just as desperate as we are. Clock must be thy monarch, then. A royal debate. With that, the door shut behind us. This will be my first attempt at a gamble. This is crazy work, bro. Faust the Gambler. Can we get a Gambler Faust ID? Can we run that? She just throws poker chips at the opponent. Oh, Mephistopheles. Gamble. I know she thought that was tough for house moment. House moment. Complaint against the Faust and the Geschoff. Complaint against the Faust and the Geschoff have made. They neglected to list the importance of pertaining to the loss of connection when temporary war trains. Finding a solution to this situation takes precedence. Wishes to maintain the secrecy of this kingdom of mine for as long as possible, and thine wishes to leave this place. Train gets there, you get off the train, everything goes back to the way they're supposed to be. How's that for a deal? Use whether one of success or failure. If we had the means to defeat him, then at least W Corp would inform us that our contract was successful after the fact. However, show not even the smallest of hint, and the contract will end in failure. However, what takes precedence over that is the fucking, like, them being literally alive. And yet, oh my fucking gosh, Don Quixote! Oh, it's fucking, yep, it's cooking. Stream's cooked. I will not tolerate this. We cannot let this vile wretch live and turn a blind eye to everything he's done. What, you stay here in the train? I know the truth. Everything hinges on this key, doesn't it? As soon as I break this in half, you'll have to spend eons inside this. I would welcome the eons. To go free of our grips, but she'd already pushed herself beyond. But your suggestion is no solution at all, Don Quixote. Become my next kindred. Screams incoherently as he leaps onto Don Quixote, piercing her neck with his fangs before he even had the chance to do anything. Then through feast and famine, dear Rosciante. In sorrow and in joy, no matter the brutality. It hath been a loyal steed by my side for however long it had been in existence. She doesn't know when she got them. But I think I'm good. Stinky they are not, scuffed. Rosciante is in pristine condition. Also, thou shalt not address me as small girl. Are we back, chat? Y'all are a little bit behind from what I can see. Even in slumber. Every single identity of Don Quixote was also wearing this pair of running shoes, Rosciante. Have you ever taken them off? Take them off. Whatever dost thou also detach from my body? 'Tis a very odd insinuation thou makest. She looks at me with puzzled eyes as though taking those running shoes off was somehow an inconceivable idea. There's something so far moved from common sense as something completely ordinary. What do you mean to Don Quixote? What even is that thing? An overwhelmingly powerful pressure suddenly explodes, radiating in all directions. As a metallic stench of blood suffocates the bus, filling every corner of it with its sickening horror. Then darkness. Saw a faint outline of an aura. I see a red aura. And wait a fucking minute. Wait a fucking minute. You've committed the sin of filial impiety, transgressor. I know that voice, but I also don't. I've never heard it in such a low, imposing tone before. Oh my god, are we gonna get a fucking new VA? Or is the VA gonna lock in for Dawn? The blood fiend shriveled and kneeling, trembling, pathetic. Mercy, O venerated ancestor, I beg for the mercy of the second kindred. I beg for the mercy of the second kindred, I beg. Insolent worm. No language worming its way out of your maw shall be worth my ears. To commit the sin of filial impiety by attempting to travel against the bloodstream, to commit such abomination against your ancestor, I cannot well sanction your impudence of continued existence. Coagulate, then melt away. Cassetti's body began liquefying into the slick stream of blood, his form curdling and crumbling, then dripping to the ground. Rapidly yet ponderously, like the ice cream Don Quixote loved so much, melting away on the floor, heated under the searing sun. Ah, you. Don Quixote looked at me, who was still on the ground after being thrown by the shockwave. With a cryptic look of pity, she uttered something. Indeed, you must be the promised timepiece. Something I couldn't quite understand. Rosciante, to me. Rosciante, I beseech you. I carefully reached out, grabbed her shoes, and slipped them onto her bare feet one by one. One day, she gasped, stumbled, and slumped to the ground. Found W Corp eventually, and after that, the W Corp agents don't work. Said he would be washed. What in the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Sometime later. I know all the sinners would be shocked. We all came back to life. All that remained was Cassetti on the fucking ground. I guess so. Good work, everyone. However, definition of most personnel excludes 3 individuals, therefore it would be most appropriate to direct any questions to them. Wait. Who are those 3? Faust. The manager. Don Quixote. Spot on. When did you have time to notice that? I have identified the 3 conscious individuals by analyzing their walking cadence and voices moments before my loss of consciousness. She appears to be in a state of deep slumber, and she is not at the risk of death. She will be waking up soon. I remember everything. Don Quixote's sudden transformation, how she practically erased the blood fiend and his kindred from the world without even moving a finger. But I also remember Faust's last words. And please do note that the other sinners must never hear a word about what is to happen. Oh dear God. Don Quixote was unconscious, and Faust was answering every question with silence. It was only natural that their eyes would fall on me. Wait, that reminds me. Where's the key card? It has been half liquefied. The remains have melted with his finger bones. It appears to become one with the middle phalanges. Should have packed more cigarettes, huh? Not an absolutely necessary element to resolving the situation. It will require approximately 5 hours to formulate and proceed with an explanation in a manner that will allow the sinners to fully comprehend how of methodology. Therefore, it will be delivered to you in a digestible, summarized format. We can utilize the back door of Mephistopheles. The steely confidence in her declaration was more than enough to win us all over, so we headed to the corridor of the back door. Don Quixote slung over one of our shoulders and arrived at our destination. I can't not ask what happened after seeing the state you're all in. Sandy pitter, sandy patter. Grains of sand and seashells. Is Karen a fucking color fixer? Why did she get to go on the train? Sounds of 4 generations to literally melt away. Yo, wait, are we back for real now? Let me see. Yeah, yes. To explicate it, it can, grains of sand. What the fuck are you yapping about? Some time ago, Faust explained the simpler gist of the plan as we made our way to the back door. To put it simply, we will spend the time at a space disconnected from the train. Train should be arriving at its destination in approximately 10 seconds, going by the A-Corp timescale. All we need to do is remain somewhere in our original dimension for that duration. And with that, Faust came to a sudden stop in the middle of one of the corridors. Wait, are you seriously just gonna open that door with how many doors are in here? Are you sure that's the right one? Yes. Please tell us what's past the door. I didn't verify it. It's necessary for future endeavors that I gain the experience of encountering something with completely unexpected. Faust did not wait for Heathcliff to finish his sentence before jerking the door wide open. It was the middle of a sandstorm. We managed to return safe and sound to the interiors of the warp train as it arrived at the P-Corp platforms. As the train was still getting cleaned up, that is, and our bodies completely covered in sand. We were so happy to be done with the whole ordeal that even the W-Corp cleanup agents in the middle of the cleanup mission looked downright hospitable. We are the employees of Limbuzz Company. We boarded the warp train at the back. That reminds me, one of the employees must be sleeping inside the hibernation pod over there. I've never seen it in action before. Thanks, let me go check. There isn't anyone in there. Maybe we're looking at the wrong pod. That is the correct spot. Then the disappearance of an individual who entered this pod would indicate. I guess folks aren't all in the head. Maybe you guys are just mistaken. I doubt that. Now that I became intimately familiar with the meaning of that gesture, I followed her to the outside without another word. Any and all relevant reports will be sent to W-Corp via LCCA. He was already there when we arrived. He was sharing a conversation with Faust about what went inside. Serious expression. Karen watched them unfasten Mephistopheles from the train. The minute hand on the manager's head seems to be desperately signaling me that they have a lot of burning questions to ask you. Allow me to give you two some space. I was finally able to ask Faust once Virgilius left. I literally blasted to pieces from the sheer explosive pressure that filled the room the moment Don Quixote's shoes came off. It was though as she knew it was going to happen. Preferable course of action to having some explosive demise occur to your body instead. I do find it regrettable that you were made to turn the clock despite my knowledge of the high likelihood of my death upon that occurrence. This is something that I've been aware of since LCB was first established. The same could be said of Virgilius, of course. However, it is the will of LCA's superiors that this knowledge remains withheld from the manager until the appropriate moment. According to my private judgment, yes. Well as my connection to all communications, including one to Faust, had been severed, I was not in a position to receive the headquarters' authorization for that action. Though the full truth may remain obscured still, we are once again returned. We've returned to one of the warp platforms in our own dimension. We've returned to our daily lives of speculating about what's next in our path, and with Leviathan spoilers, if I don't remember, I don't mind at all. The usual Faust, reconnected to Faust, has returned. Yes, Faust replied to Yiseng's nebulous wording with quiet affirmation. I suppose I shall see her again. She shot a puzzled look at Yiseng. In a way, it was quite the pleasant encounter, was it not? Yiseng mused ambiguously before leaving us. Phew. The incident at the warp train was such a chaotic mess that it felt shorter than it really was, but I also learned about so many things. But it was too soon to start racking our brains about what kind of nonsense trial we were about to face in P Corp, so I decided to enjoy this momentary peace. How do we find ourselves at P Corp? Why is my throat so parched? Too tired to explain. Chiquita, you missed out on some big-time crazy adventure. Vibrated the last few grains of sand out of my ears. Sinners looked at Don Quixote's bewildering, awakening, grinning. There's no way to know what we'll be facing here at District 16, where P Corp was located, but we got this, right? The same faith I saw in Faust, who believes in uncertainty, rises within me too. I looked up to Faust, only to see that Faust was looking at me as well. She nodded at me with her usual, barely noticeable smile, and I gave her a light nod back in return. Time to go find ourselves another golden bough. We just attached to this orphanage. It got attacked though, and one thing led to another. Karen is the only survivor, and she is also permanently altered to a mirror version of herself. Ah, I see. The dream ending. Doom 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 doom. Alright guys, that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. We shall see you guys again Monday, same time, 7:30 CST. But until then guys, as per the usual, keep moving forward and have a good evening. I'm going to let it catch up to me real quick. Oh shit. I have access. Infinity Mirror